We have finally made it. We are this close to the start of the 2024 Masters, and good news, bad news. Bad news first is that we are expecting a lot of rain to show up tonight, at least into early Thursday morning. Definitely could impact early tee times, especially for the honorary starters. But the good news is the rain is really going to only impact us through Thursday morning. Thursday afternoon, we start to dry out, and we should hang on to really sunny conditions Friday all the way through Sunday. And honestly, the best news is this is going to be one of the nicest final rounds of the Masters we have seen in several years here in Augusta. So beautiful weather on tap as we get into Saturday and Sunday. Till we get there, we are going to have to deal with some pretty rough weather. You can see this system tracking across the southeast. It's brought a lot of severe storms across the Gulf Coast today, and right now that's where the severe weather threat is staying. So positive trend for our forecast is that severe weather threat remains low for the CSRA. It's still not zero, so I don't want to ignore it completely, but I'm more concerned about the heavy rain risk for some of our counties, and also it's just going to be downright windy over the next couple of days, and that combined with just some saturated soils could lead to some issues. Let's take you through what our in-house model is showing. So I would imagine by around 9-10 o'clock tonight, we're starting to notice rain across the area. It's just going to ramp up and turn more widespread as we head towards early Thursday. Now, right now, I would say by around daybreak, so right at around 7:30 when those honorary starters are expected to start, that rain is now starting to move east of Augusta. So I'm not thinking we necessarily have to delay play too long early in the morning. We could still see some hit or miss shower and storm cells up until about 9-10 a.m. But after that, it does look mostly dry into the afternoon. Behind the storm system, we're going to have a lot of dry air slotting in behind that storm complex, and that should actually allow a little bit of sunshine to filter in Thursday afternoon. But remember, it's just going to be very windy even once the storms exit the region. Tomorrow afternoon, we're expecting gusts 30 to 40 possibly miles per hour at times, so definitely enough to impact play. A few more clouds will show up Thursday evening, and then as we head towards daybreak Friday, that's when we're really clearing out the skies. Should see generally sunny conditions Friday. Temperatures will feel a little bit cooler. We'll wake up in the 50s to start off the day, and then afternoon highs will get close to 70, so a little bit below average for our standards here in Augusta for the start of April, but still feeling great. Sunshine with highs near 70, no complaints whatsoever. As we get into the weekend, even cooler start Saturday morning in the 40s, but afternoon highs should be warmer Saturday than Friday, most likely getting into the mid and upper 70s by the afternoon. So just getting nicer heading into our Sunday. Here's our first alert. This goes in effect tonight and lasts through at least Thursday morning. Remember, heavy rain could trigger some flood alerts. We have some very gusty winds along with these storms, and even behind the storm system tomorrow and Friday, we are expecting a very windy outlook. This is our severe weather threat, so if you were watching us yesterday, everybody in the CSRA was underneath a slight risk. So we were mentioning yesterday that this will likely trend in our favor with the severe weather threat lowering with kind of what we're seeing in model trends. So the Storm Prediction Center did get on board with that. They're still not letting it go to zero, so I don't want to ignore the severe weather threat. Just appears to be a very low risk for most spots. If we do see severe storms tonight into tomorrow morning, most likely would be those southern CSRA counties still included in the slight risk. So Emmanuel, Jenkins, Screven, even Allendale County, just some of those spots to where you'll be closer to those severe weather ingredients. So don't let your guard down completely. Definitely have a way to receive those alerts out there early tomorrow morning. Here's our flood risk. This has actually been increased as far as the threat level, so we're now underneath a widespread slight risk across the region, and this is expecting at least scattered flood reports across the region. Not surprising, take a look at two of our high resolution models that we use to forecast these type systems in the short term. Our graph model here on the right, that's the one that I was showing you earlier. Now it's keeping that heaviest rain threat mainly in the southern CSRA. But for this high resolution rapid refresh model, the one we call the HRRR, that brings that heavy rain risk more widespread across the central CSRA. So it's tough forecasting whenever you have your two high resolution models showing widely different totals less than 12 hours out from a system approaching. So frustrating, but one of those things it looks like both models are picking up at. There is going to be a swath of heavy rain somewhere in the region. I don't necessarily have a ton of confidence of saying exactly where it's going to line up. So I want you to be prepared for some heavy rain. Hopefully we do not receive 3 inches of rain here in Augusta, even with the sub-air system. That can be tough to deal with here around town. So we're hoping the graph verifies, and that right now is kind of where I'm leaning towards. Last couple of severe systems, or what are supposed to be severe systems that have gone through the region, the graph has done a really good job materializing them, and that's where I'm currently leaning. So keep your fingers crossed. But the graph, even though it may not show a severe weather threat, it does show very windy conditions. So wind alerts in effect all down the Savannah River. Pretty much everywhere in the CSRA is underneath a wind advisory until tomorrow evening. So that's an anticipation of those gusts, maybe 30, 40 miles an hour at times. Now here's a look at our projected gusts. So tomorrow morning, with some of those heavier storms, we'll see those gusts mix down, some 30+ gusts at times. But once we get into the afternoon, behind that front, on the back side of it, we're just going to see a widespread wind field of 30 to 40 mile per hour gusts. Sustained winds will likely be close to 20 at times. So just one of the windier afternoons that we have seen a good while here locally. Heading into Friday morning, still seeing those gusts up to 20, and then they'll just pick up again Friday afternoon, anywhere from 30 to 35. But once we get into the weekend, wind looks to be much less of a threat. Saturday and Sunday still could see a little breeze kick up Saturday afternoon, but nothing that would really impact play like it will for our Thursday and Friday rounds. So remember, for round 1, early tee times definitely could be impacted by that rough weather, but I don't think it'll necessarily cancel play all day long by any means. So really just early in the day, we're looking at those storm chances. And then Friday, it's going to be sunny all day long, just really going to have to battle that wind, and it will continue to be a factor. But as I said earlier, this is likely going to be one of the nicest finishes to the Masters that we have seen in several years. Last year, if you remember, temperatures stayed in the 40s all day long for that third round on Saturday. So temperatures will be about 30 degrees warmer this year than what it was last year. So a significant improvement. And by Sunday, 85 degrees. If we're able to hit 85, that will be the warmest day we have seen so far for 2024. So timing it out just right, and it does look like a beautiful finish to the weekend. And next week, once all our patrons do leave town, looks like we're going to be in store for a very warm outlook here in the CSRA. Monday through Wednesday next week, we're expecting highs near 86 degrees. So definitely feeling like springtime here over the next 7 days. Keep it here for updates over the next 12 hours. We're going to have a close eye on these storms heading our way, and we're actually about to be live again on 26 News on NBC if you want to tune us in there. If not there, we'll have another update coming up on News 12 at 11.